Should you buy the Meta Ray-Bans in 2026? Let's find out. Okay, so first up, we actually have the case itself. Now, if you notice with the case itself, it has a charging port. It's kind of like a leathery color, so it almost looks like you have a pair of readers on in here, which is kind of ironic because, you know, that's just an interesting take. But if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Either way, this is the case that it comes with. So if you want a different style case, then you'll just have to buy a different style case. But if you notice, there's different little circle colors. So like green showcases that the actual Ray-Bans are inside of the case, versus yellow showcases the Ray-Bans are not inside the case. If you look inside the case though, there's also like these little prongs in there. There's the Ray-Ban Meta, which we'll see in a sec, but also on the back there's a little circle. And on this little circle in the back, it's to help you pair, it's to help you charge the actual case, because yes, the Meta Ray-Bans need to be charged, but the case has to be charged too. So over and all, that's going to be what that is. Okay, so now that you've kind of seen the case itself, let's take a look at what the actual Ray-Bans look like so that you can get a better idea whether or not this is something that you might want to buy based off of style, or whether or not this just isn't for you. So then we get into the actual Ray-Bans themselves. And as for the Ray-Bans themselves, they're kind of bulky. When you look at them with their actual legs out, if you will, they're really bulky, like they're really noticeable. And if you notice, it's actually very easy to see the camera. That's just because, I mean, how else are you going to build a camera inside? But I will also note that inside these Meta Ray-Bans, there is no card for an SD. There's no slot for an SD card whatsoever. These all import to your phone, which is great. But if you look along the side of the right, or the right side of the bands, there is a little button that you can mash. And that's going to take photos for you. That's going to record videos for you. And over and all, it's just going to be very beneficial. But that's pretty much them. These are not the prescription ones, and these are also not the sunglass ones. These are just regular clear lenses because aesthetically speaking, it just fit what I wanted better than the actual sunglasses would. So over and all, those are the actual glasses themselves. Okay, so you've seen the glasses themselves, like just looking at them, and you've seen the case itself, but what about actual like content creation through the glasses? So we're going to take a look at that next, but first, I want to tell you something about these glasses. When you record, there's a little light that pops up, so it shows other people that you're recording. So don't think you can just be discreet with this and record, and then people will be able to just not see it. However, I will note that some people may not notice it right away, or may not pay attention that you're wearing these. However, they're very bulky enough to know that, hey, these glasses aren't just a regular form of glasses. These are definitely smart glasses. Also, with this inside, it'll glow a little ring whenever you can say like, hey, Meta, and it'll record a video. It'll also take a screenshot. But what I will say is when you say it like that, and you're speaking like I am to you guys, it picks up on all the interference. So the glasses themselves are a little slow, which is also going to be less beneficial for you, also going to be less beneficial for your Wi-Fi, simply because it has to require Wi-Fi to download and all these different things. But they can be a little slow. However, on top of that, I will note that on top of the Wi-Fi connection and how slow they are and stuff, they do have a lot of cool features to them. Like for instance, as you're going to see with different environments, like it's able to detect the weather for you. You're able to do hands-free content creation so that you don't have to just have an Insta360 all strapped up on your chest or all strapped up on your head. You can just use these discreetly. Like I know I mentioned in the portion where I was recording outside with the chickens that I was able to film a video for a nutritional club with just my hands and make the video without having to actually worry about these, like showcasing anybody or being out of the ordinary. They just look like glasses. As you can see on me, like they just generally look like glasses. They don't look anything else other than discreet. So that's also something cool and something easy to notice. They do have a built-in mic. They also have a thing on the side where you can mash your fingers and you can swipe to change the song, whether it's to skip a song or to go back to one. You can pause or play a song or a YouTube video. You can do anything. Like these things have built-in speakers to the point where you can hear them and no one else can. And I've tried them, tested them out. They work solid with that. They're worth the spotlight for that. So yeah. Okay, so these are just the Metas. There's no mics attached or anything like that. I'm taking you guys back over to the chickens again just because, well, they're just a good audience. But this is using the microphone of the Metas, and this is using the actual screen quality of the Metas. And like I have my arm stretched out here because I want y'all to see like how it looks, because maybe it's just me, I just think it looks a little strange. So noting that, like I would not use these, I wouldn't use these glasses for like a I don't know how to describe it. I wouldn't use these glasses if I was doing like hands-on work and I wanted to record that. But if I wanted to record something like discreetly like this, like for instance, I know there's creators that go out and they film themselves at restaurants and they film themselves just doing things. Like I know I've filmed myself doing a video for a social media page for a nutritional shop, and it was just making something simple as a drink. However, it was easier to do because I had both my hands free. I didn't have to have like a chest strap on with an Insta360 or a head strap on with an Insta360 again. I didn't have to use a camera or have my iPhone clipped on anything. I was just simply able to use these glasses put on discreetly, and then boom, just made the video, imported it to my phone, and then just edited it tiny little bits, because the videos are already straight to your phone. There's no SD card in this camera whatsoever. Like, you don't have to have a micro SD or anything like that. All you have to do is just upload it straight to your phone, and you can see that through the menu, and boom, there you go. There's your video. So these have been the Metas just out and about, and now let's take a look at the review, the menu, all the good stuff, and see what you think. So these are what the Metas look like outside when it's snowing. You can easily just pick up whatever you're doing with a snowball. You can do anything you want, but you can see it clearly, vividly, plain as day. You don't have to worry about any of it just not coming out good quality, because the Metas make sure it is good quality. And over and all, it's cold outside, which actually Meta, as we saw earlier, Meta can detect the temperature for you if you just ask. But this is about 3 inches of snow, and over and all, the Meta Ray-Ban glasses look good out here. Okay, next this brings us into the actual menu. As you can see when I log into it, it shows up with like different things that I can import. That's just actual footage that I've taken on these. As I've noted, you log in actual footage so that it goes straight to your phone. There's no SD card, you gotta plug it anywhere. Over and all, that makes it kind of easy. When you go through your gallery, you can select certain things, you can delete it, you can add it to your phone, all sorts of the good stuff like that. So you don't really have to worry about going through there and going through a long process. It's actually really easy compared to a camera. But then when we get later on into the actual menu itself, you can see like there's different like updates. So your glasses are going to have routine updates, just like your consoles, just like your software on your iPhone, everything else of the sorts. And some of these downloads take a long time. I would note that these glasses are extremely slow. That's probably the most downside thing of them, is that they are very, very slow. They really are. But over and all, they're pretty good, pretty solid. After the update finishes, it'll show you this right here, which showcases your glasses are up to date. Like for instance, version 22.0 is the latest update as of this video. And so it just shows that they're up to date. You can name your glasses whatever you want to, anything your heart's desire. But yeah, that's pretty much the menu. And there is one last thing though. When you go into devices, it'll show you what your percentages is on your Meta Ray-Bans, and it'll show you like if they're dead so that you can plug them in. You can also ask it anything like inside the chat. I found the chat does not work near as well as it does just speaking it to the Meta Ray-Bans, and I'm not really sure exactly why that is. I think maybe it's just a Wi-Fi connection on my part, or maybe it's just an updated system going on with whatever's going on, honestly. But either way, you can see different gallery, all the kind of good stuff. Okay, so with all that being said, we've kind of gone through the Ray-Bans, we've gone through the case, we've seen what they look like. We've also kind of looked at the menu screen and what that's all like, and there's how the update features, all the good stuff. But with that being said, should you actually buy the Ray-Bans? And my answer to that is yes, you should buy the Ray-Bans if you're looking for something discreet with large quality, like the quality is really good, or if you're just looking for something to play around with for content creation. If you want to do like a point of view where you can use both your hands and you don't want to buy a whole camera rig, then these are best for you. And they're not really super expensive. I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, the Meta Ray-Bans are expensive because they're smart glasses. They're around $200, $300 for the baseline pair. But there's different styles you can get. I would just recommend getting the baseline pair, because you're not really, unless you do like heavy content creation, or unless you do like difficult things that require like holographic messages through the glasses, then I would get those. But I will note, if you're thinking, oh, I can get those and I could take pictures of the answers for a school test and it'll show me, they have ways now to where they can detect you through lockdown Respondus browsers and all the different things. So they're going to pick up on the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. They're going to see you in class with them on. They're going to see the light, and they're going to be banned, unfortunately. So with that all being said, I would just recommend getting the actual just baseline glasses. It's easier, it does the translation, it does the weather, it does the recording, the picture quality, everything you really need it to. So you don't really need the more expensive models unless you're going into a heavy content creation style. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. My name is Bryce, thanks for hanging out in the studio, and I will see you in the next one.